You're going to need 2 of the number 1s, 2 of the number 2s, 2 of the number 3s. Front and back wall, back wall, back wall, front wall, the door cut out. The door can be cut out different sizes depending on the dog. This is the floor, 1/2 inch plywood, 2 foot by 4 foot. You'll need 2 of those, 1 for the floor of the house, 1 for the porch. These are the roofs. They are 32 inches by 4 foot. That gives you a nice big overhang for the porch and for the house. For the floor, you're going to take 2 of the number 1s marked in red. You're going to set them upside down. Kind of on top of that. This end is upside down, so the part that's going to go on the roof. You're going to line this up. You want to leave a little bit so you can see just about 1/8 of an inch of the 2x4. That will help with water. When the water comes off the porch, it won't hit the plywood and go under. Hit the 2x4. Set your first nail, line this one up. Again, just a little bit of an overhang. Don't be chintzy with the nails. Oh, right here. Same thing on the other side. Line up one side. Tad bit of an overhang. Set it. Walk down here. Set again. Make sure to have just a little bit of an overhang so you see just, this is the floor, so just the edge of the 2x4. If the plywood is on top of this, when the water hits it, it'll run under. So you want it to be right there, all the way across. And this, and make sure it's lined up with the end. Nice and ready. Floor ready. You're going to take one of the walls. You're going to take the number 2 and put it all the way up to the tip. And of course you're going to put it underneath here. So we're going to lay it on top. Again, set one end, line one end up, then line the other end up. Take a number 3, which I have marked in yellow, and line it up underneath the number 2 like this. Again, line this up, one end up, set your nail, make sure the other end is lined up. Don't be chintzy with the nails. These are just 3/8 plywood, so they can fall apart fairly easy. Alright, same thing with the other wall. You're going to take a number 2, line it all the way up with the top, set this one on top of it. Line them up. which one you start with. I'll start with this one. Set this one on top of here. Make sure they're lined up as best as you can. They don't always work perfect. Kind of split it different. Kind of pick that up so that it's right. Get plenty of nails. Time to reload nails. Hold on. Ugh. Not plenty of nails. Same thing with the front. You see that? Good. Same thing with the other side. Line them up best you can. Set one in. Other one up. On this end piece where there's no wood to secure it to, just go ahead and toenail you a nail just to help it keep secure. We're going to put the roof on, and that'll help too. But, all right, now you have your walls up. Roof number one. Always start with the back wall first. You want to line it up where the tip of this is all nice and even. Make sure to leave a little bit of overhang back here. Very, very important. Just a little bit. Set one nail. Go to the bottom. You have to use a little bit of your foot on the bottom. Just kind of tuck your toe underneath here. Pull this one back as far as you can, lining it up with the top. This way, this is as much of the overhang you can get. It doesn't matter if this is a little closer. You can measure this so you can make sure. I can do it by time. again, always start with the back wall. I'll do it on the side so you can understand.
Hi, Alicia.
Always start on the back wall. Give it a little bit of overhang so that those match up. That's your one nail. Set one nail. Make sure you line the bottom up. Just a tad bit of an overhang. Same thing with this one. I'm sure you might have to kind of rock it a little bit. Never hurts to put a few extra nails. That's it. That's the door now. They're really nice, lightweight. Put them right away. The triangulars are not perfectly triangle. This is 48 inches. These are about 47, 46. So you can see what is up and down because of the grain of the wood. I just know that because I've been doing it a long time. If you need to mark an arrow when you're cutting out your pattern so that you remember that this is the top. This one is cut at, the number 1 board is at 48 inches. The other one aren't quite as exact. So when you do that, just make sure there is an up and down. We made that mistake of not telling people to do that. So again, the number 2 board. You want to be a perfectionist and you want all of these to line up perfectly, you can do a cheat. So go ahead and have your number 1 and number 2 affixed, but only put the top nail in the 3rd board, which is the yellow board. So when you line it up, I'm going to do this backwards, but this way you can see it. When you line it up, go ahead and line this one up, sink a nail on this end, and then you can lift this one up and make these. Oh, I'm sitting on it, sorry. You can do it because you're not going to be sitting on it. Oops, sorry, hold on. So when you get this one, you can lift this one up and set it in place. Sorry, I'm going to do it from the other side, you'll understand. But this one can be movable if you want to be a perfectionist. I don't really care. The dogs in the 3rd board do not complain. And any large gaps, we end up putting foam on. So on this end, we'll line that up perfectly and sink one nail. And again, the 3rd board has one at the very top, so it's movable. And then you can line it up perfectly here. Now, unlike most of my boards, all of the triangular boards match up perfectly. That'll give you more room to sink. It doesn't really matter. If you have a few gaps, we use spray foam to fill them in right before we take them out. And so it's not a big issue. Go ahead and put the wall I'm just going to go ahead and let the video roll and let you watch just a couple of them. They're very simple to put in. I've built about 10 in an hour. Once they're all cut up, it's really not that hard. Let me turn the compressor back on. Pop a line or figure out some way to measure. I can do it by feel, but as you can see, especially when you get down to the bottom, you don't want to have any nails protruding. The dog's not going to get up high, but so that's that side. The other wall. Again, very important to leave a little bit of an overhang back here. We're going to run a bead of caulk down that or foam, and this way it makes sure that this is plenty covered. This joint right here, probably the most important joint of the whole thing because it will keep from water. So sink one hole, use this one to push your foot, line it up about the same. Joint is this up here, so you can use your foot to kind of hold these up together and touch you. Oh, no wonder that didn't move. I'm on the wrong side. So you might need to pull this one up, put one in, and then go all the way down. Gap right here is fine. Put that little bead of caulk. Again, these are way better than anything the dog has ever had. Plywood is a good insulator for heat. It gives them plenty of shade. And this nice big porch, nice big overhang. We're going to put a porch onto it also so they can now lay up off the ground. So that's one. You can see they flip very easily. So that two women can just flip them up and down. You can do it by yourself. Just flip them out of the way. You don't have to worry about things falling apart. So I'll do one from scratch. Of the red boards. Line one up, making sure to leave a little bit of a gap. Make sure you can see about 1/8 of an inch of the 2x4. You do not want to completely cover. Come down here on this end. A little bit of the same thing with over here. Make sure you can see just a little bit. Doesn't have to be much. And over. which is the second board. First board, second board, third board. Doesn't really matter what side you start on. As far as the door opening or not, it doesn't really matter. A nail, come down here, adjust it. Third board. You want to line them up perfectly. Take that one side. So here it is upside down. We're upside down. Don't worry about this gap here. We can fill that with the foam. You don't have to worry about too much. If you have a gap on the back, if you have a little bit of gap, you can always take a hammer. I did that with my left hand. You can always take that and secure it. So this is upside down so you can see our gap of our bottom for the plywood. So if the water was running in here and hit the plywood, it will run underneath. So right now it bypasses the plywood. So you can check out the inside. Make sure you don't have any nails. You have a nice big overhang. Right now the house is sitting on its side. I'll pick it up for you. So that's it. Doghouse done. This piece can be cut out smaller or larger depending on the dog. I would take a Sawzall with me so we can make it a little bit bigger. Don't forget your batteries, always do that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up once you get in the field. These are landscape timbers. They're only like $3 a piece. Cut them in half. That makes them 4 feet. I'm going to